Hello, good people. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live once again from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks. All right, good people. It is 25 minutes past the hour, and yes, we are the voice of the everyday citizen. All right, good people. The Media Mike is back, and just in case you have not heard of this story, we know about the Buffalo shooting. I did a video on that a while back, but did you know that law enforcement could be behind it? Not just any law enforcement, the feds, a former federal agent could be behind some of this. Now, in my last video, I did talk about that. I said sleeper cells. Yes, it did. So let's get to the story. Law enforcement officers are investigating whether a retired federal agent had about 30 minutes advance notice of a white supremacist plans to murder black people at a Buffalo supermarket. Two law enforcement officials told the Buffalo News. Authorities believe the former agent, believed to be from Texas out of all places, oh my gosh, was one of at least six individuals who regularly communicated with accused gunman Peyton Gendron in an online chat room where racist hatred was discussed, according to the two officials. The two law enforcement sources with direct knowledge of the investigation stated these individuals were invited by Gendron to read about his mass shootings plans and the target location about 30 minutes before he killed the 10 people at Tops Market on May 14th. Now, the news could not determine if the retired agent accepted the invitation, but what we do know is that he knew of him. Things that make you go, So it doesn't matter if he accepted or not. If he's in the guy's DM, what you expect? He knew. Now, according to law enforcement officials, he says that these were like-minded people who used this chat group to talk about their shared interest in racial hatred, replacement theory, and hatred of anyone who is Jewish, person of color, or not of European ancestry. What is especially upsetting is that these six people received advance notice of the Buffalo shooting about 30 minutes before it happened. Now, the FBI has verified that none of these people called law enforcement to warn them about the shooting. The FBI database shows no advance tips from anyone that the shooting was about to happen. Of course not. Of course they wouldn't. Now, the FBI are in the process of tracking down and interviewing the six people, including the retired agent, and attempting to determine if any of them should be charged as accomplices. This is not going to be good people, if this is true. Now, the two sources did not identify the agent by name and could not confirm what federal agency he worked for. Now, the Buffalo FBI office declined to comment, along with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Buffalo. Now, a couple of civil rights attorneys, like John Belmore, he said it would be outrageous if it turns out that a former law enforcement officer had advance notice of the shooting. Well, true, sir, but so much for the oath they take. And if he had advance notice, he had a moral obligation, but they're not going to do that. They're not. And this is not good. But I told you, sleeper cells. I told you, these people knew. Now, the federal authorities are investigating if the retired agent provided information to Gendron before he went on his shooting spree. If you ask me, I think he did. Now, they're trying to see if he goes by the code name Sandman, because that's who Gendron contacted. And this person, Sandman, was coaching him. Now, he did not use an AR-15. He did not. So it was not that. It was a Bushmaster X-15, a modified version of the AR-15. But anyway, listen to this passage here. And it almost sounds like a wake up of a sleeper cell. Dated May 2nd. He quoted Saint Sandman as saying, "When the time finally comes to deal decisively with a whole host of society's problems and not go to prison for it, you'll know. Just be ready. You have spent your entire life from the day you were born right up to this very moment. Reading this sentence coming to where you are right now, look around you. Are you content with where you are right now? Are you where you want to be? If so, continue to march. If not, what are you going to do? What's your plan? Get and keep your mind, body, and spirit right. Pray, lift, run, read, shoot, and teach your kids to do the same. Unquote. Now I don't know what this is technically meaning, but this guy was what, 18, 19 years old, and you're saying, are you where you want to be right now? He's just 18, 19. He doesn't know where he is right now. So now, but if this is confirmed, it definitely puts a stain or even a black eye on the federal agents, especially the Bureau. This could even widen the allegedly mistrust. Well, already, this could even widen the already mistrust between the citizens and the police good people. But as I stated in my last video, I mentioned sleeper cells. This guy was too young to plan this. I'm just saying, and say the things he said without some degree of assistance from someone older and more seasoned. So now, there is a possibility of a retired rogue agents running around and creating havoc and dismay. And at this point, that's all I'm going to say. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
Understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep on.